Hey everybody, it's me Edward Jones back with a new video, and today I got an oldie for you guys. This is essentially a Stevens 520 pump shotgun. The reason why I say essentially is because on the side it says Riverside Arms Company. This was sold by different by different department stores, either by like the name like Ward's Ranger 30 or like Montgomery Ward, Western, different names like that. And this one was sold, this one had the name Riverside Arms. Even though this now the Stevens 520 was a Browning design, I think he had it patented in 1909. This one was made somewhere between 1928 and 1932. They made different variations of the 520 model. They went through different design changes for safety, different safeties, different inertia locks, various ways of attaching the ejectors, things like that. It has a unique Browning hump design, so you not only got this one hump, but you also got a double hump, and but and it does kind of look, I want to say old. It does have kind of a weird look to it compared to modern streamline models, but it's essentially it's a pump shotgun. It's a fairly nice one, very strong. It has very strong action. This one does also come up does it's a takedown, so it will break down the same way as like the Winchester 1897, Winchester Model 12. It actually takes down the exact same way as the Stevens 620, which I also do have, and I did a video about that several years ago. I'll show you, take it down in front of you guys real quick. This is actually a plug that came with the shotgun. I don't think it ever been taken apart because that plug was still in the gun when I found it. Essentially, you push down your slide release, which is located right here. Slide comes back, and you have this kind of a textured section on the magazine tube, and you turn it. It's pretty tight. Turn it clockwise from the point of view of the shooter, and you push down on this section of the gun slightly. Slide all the way forward. The gun comes apart. It comes apart in half like that. It has these machine cutouts on the barrel extension, which fits into the machine cutouts inside the receiver. The carrier stays in a down position. It doesn't really get in the way of when you're loading shells. It would be nicer, as if it was like like a Mossberg or like the high standard shotguns, but it serves purpose. It's not a bad design. I've always said there was actually a few things I would do to Stevens shotguns. I would actually work on the bolt carrier, which does serve a role in retaining the shells in the magazine tube when you're loading the gun. I think it could be modified just slightly. Personally, I think the Stevens 820B was one of their best designs because it came from the factory with a shell stopper that was much more improved, built into the bolt carrier. I don't know if you guys can see in this light, but it says right here, Riverside Arms Company, Chicopee Falls, Massachusetts, USA. The barrel of this has proof tested 12 gauge. I'm trying out a new camera. Hopefully it turns out decent when I upload this video. The slide release is actually relocated. Originally, the 520 had a big neural button on the side as for the slide release, and there was also an inertia lock system on this side of the receiver, inside the receiver, that is. And it went through different designs. Went through a slanted slide release, and now it's a up and down push button slide release. The safety, suicide safety, right here in front of the trigger guard. I'm sorry, right here in front of the trigger, inside the trigger guard. But newer models like the 520A had safety up here, or they had it located. I think it was either front. No, it was actually located towards the back, towards the back of the trigger guard. They also did. There was also a design where the receiver had. Well, this one is an older design, so the receiver has this tang that comes all the way back out, as well as for the trigger guard, which is actually similar in design to the Browning Auto 5 and the Remington Model 11. And so there's no long bolt that goes through the stock that secures it to the receiver. It's actually just this one bolt. The wood supposedly is birch. Wasn't anything fancy. This is actually not one of their premier models, since it doesn't have a rib at the top, But the checkering is all hand done, which is still pretty nice, considering it's almost 100 years old. And see the unit number 6964B. Not much else to this gun. It doesn't really have any other features to and nothing to really identify where it came from or any other things like that. But it does have that unit number stamped on various parts of the shotgun. Well, one of the repairs I had to do this gun when I got it. I got it for $150, very very cheap. I had to heat up this portion of the magazine tube where it's threaded into this end cap. Well, this forward locking nut that attaches to the magazine tube underneath the barrel. It was all seized up, which is why I don't think this gun was actually. I don't think this plug was ever taken out because of how badly seized up this was. I had to heat up this forward portion of the magazine tube, and there were dents along this raised section. A lot of dents right here. So what basically I had to do is I had to heat this up with some MAP gas. I didn't want to use acetylene because it will get too hot. It will get hot too fast. And I had to run a large bolt. It had a large bolt that had a rounded head that was basically the same diameter as the inside of this magazine tube, and push it through, basically swaging out the dents. And two cracks formed on the magazine tube, which I later repaired with the TIG welder. And also he was able to heat this portion up again, like I said, with the MAP gas and clean up the threads so that the magazine tube spins freely, and they're actually able to utilize the takedown feature of the shotgun. But yeah, I got this gun for $150 at a gun show. I didn't do a gun show report. Got caught up with a bunch of other stuff that wasn't able to do a video. But this is the gun I got from the last Greenville gun show. In fact, the seller was actually selling two of these guns. Though he had one that was much nicer shape than this. He actually offered to sell both of them to me for $300 because he didn't know this actually it takes down. I took down the nicer one. It was much smoother to take apart because it was in much better condition. And he offered me a deal. Took $100 off what he was originally going to sell both of them for, and offered to sell them for $300. And I said, well, I'll just buy this one right now. He gave me his card in case I wanted to buy the other one from him for the exact same price I bought this one. Because I guess I have some charisma, I suppose. But really, he was just impressed that I knew a lot about this gun, which is actually not the first time it's ever happened. Actually, back in 2009, this same exact gun. Demonstrated my knowledge of the gun, and the seller, he was so impressed. He told his wife, as a young guy, I knew so much about this gun. He offered to sell it to me for $160, but I couldn't buy it at the time, so I had to let it go. But now I have this, so everything works out in the long run. But that's my video. Tell me what you guys think. Do you own the same? Do you own the same model, or a model? One of the different variances of the 520? Do you own a 620? Do you own any takedown shotguns that you like or dislike? Please leave a comment in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want to help out the channel, go to my YouTube homepage. Look for the PayPal link and the Cash App link. All donation amounts are appreciated. Any gripes, complaints? Like you don't like this gun, for example? I mean, it is a weird look. I did say they really did make an improvement when they came out with the 520-30. More stream. Still kept the single hump, more streamlined receiver. Leave a comment in the comment section, or send me a gripe in the form of email. But that's my video. So the Riverside Arms Company Model 520, which is essentially a Stevens 520 shotgun. I'm Edward Jones. You guys take care. Be safe. Stay strapped. And God bless.